what is the number one thing that has destroyed us? It's not, some secret cabal of billionaires, although they're certainly not helping.
Oh no, they're
It's,
taking advantage of our complacency, that's for sure.
well, not just our complacency, our atomization, our utter lack of community. And
Yeah.
I, we're all complicit in it. How many of your neighbors do you know?
Not enough.
How many? Fucking yeah. How many? You ask anybody in any town, how many of your neighbors do you know? How many people on your block have you talked to? Could you even remember their face? And inevitably, hardly any of them can. What we need to do is, change that. Just go outside, talk to the people you live around. And further, if you can develop that sort of group consciousness again, you know, how easy would it be to just make, like, let's say you make soap and sell it locally? Not through gay business shit. Don't let the state tax your fucking work. Just, hey, hey, Bob, do you want some soap? It's really good shit. Gee, Dan, that sure does look like good shit. I'll take
Trade you
10
some
bars for 20
strawberries from my
bucks.
garden.
Well, yeah, shit like that.
Yeah,
You
that'd
build a
be.
group identity, a group consciousness, a group solidarity, and it begins to spread.
It seems like this really is like returning to tradition type stuff. Because like in my brain,
Yes.
I don't know how to do that. It's kind of lost. Like, and I know how to go and talk to my neighbors, but how do you form like a cohesive community? What do you do? Do you need a bulletin board at the local pub, or like, you know what I mean? Like, do you
It's,
go to church? I don't think anyone does that anymore.
I've I've fallen into the trap of this sort of thinking too, and I'll tell you where it comes from. It comes from reading a lot of books. It comes from sitting, like I did, in a library for hours on end, reading these economic
Yeah,
and philosophical and religious tomes. It's like a,
just being a fucking autist.
well, more than that. It's,
I think a lot of us are
although,
guilty of
okay,
exactly
but
that.
yeah, and you become hyper aware of the exact thoughts that have led to this point and the exact countermeasures to those thoughts, what you need to believe in. But you lose the ability, slowly but surely, to just intuit, to just do. And that's what I think we need to do the most. We need to stop worrying about little things in the moment like that, because yeah, the billboard and the pub town square shit is nice, but that has to occur organically. You just have to feel it. You just have to do.
Exactly. It
Y-
probably takes
eh,
decades to reclaim.
No, that's the weirdest thing. Like, I for a year, I was taking care of my grandmother in her twilight, and for a while, I the only time I had to socialize with it was with family and friends of the family, and by this I mean like my cousin and his friends, and we used to dick around on their, I think my cousin's dad's, my uncle's, the uh, workplace, and the woods back there. And yeah, for the first 10 minutes I was squicked out because there's strangers or whatever. But after an hour of just chilling with them, and in our case we were dicking around with like airsoft or whatever, shooting people in the face. But you know one good group activity, all of a sudden I'm comfortable around them.
Yeah.
It it's one of those things like jumping, like when you're a kid and you go to the pool. It seems so much deeper until you just jump.
And that's the thing. It's such a little thing, and then that could one day be the difference between you having a place to live. Like, something bad could happen,
Yeah.
and it's the people that you
Hmm.
met in those, whatever times, those random times that are going to save your ass.
Hmm.
And
So,
that's when you get the opportunity to give back also by knowing people around you.
right. And that's really what's puzzling to me. These Nick Fuentes types and these Styx Hexenhammer types, they'll go on and they'll like they'll sanitize themselves in order to stay on the platform. But they'll slip a little, implication, ooh, implying implications, it sticks less to, to a lesser degree, but, Nick Fuentes is really notorious for that sort of thing. But we don't need to do that. That's just so much ideological flypaper, and furthermore, it's alienating. Just, I wish I could hear just one streamer, just no bullshit, say to his audience, hey guys, I think you should get to know your neighbor. Hey guys, if you really want to enact change in the world, produce something and offer it to people around you.
Yeah,
Make something
this is
with
great
your
stuff.
hands.
This is the stuff that I tried to get into because there was a point, I guess around the time Epstein was murdered. That's
Hmm.
when I realized that like all of the things I'm hoping for, like the things that I would hope would come to light that would really cause change, like not even that can do it. And that was when I realized that that's what we need to be doing. We need to be honing ourselves and our communities. And if we all do that, that's the only way we're making change at this point. And the thing is, I talk a fucking good game. I don't fucking act nearly as good as I talk. But like, I'm just glad other people out there see it.
Yeah, to be honest, one of the worst things that we can subject ourselves to, speaking from experience, is being alone and knowing that you're really not, and that there are people just around the corner, perhaps even in the same county, you know. In my case, not so much because I live in the armpit of fucking America, but Delaware, Sussex County, gotta love it. What we're good for?
What's that?
Chickens.
That's
That's it.
that redeems you, doesn't it?
I mean,
That's all it
it's not even
takes.
like the good type of fucking farming. It's like this shitty agribusiness
I
where it's
see.
just like the most depressing, disgusting. My dad has to fucking dick around and like fix people's generators and fix their electrical problems in their chicken coops, and it's just
So like a
like
thousand
imagine.
chickens in one cage type thing.
Yeah, like there are some farms that are a lot better, getting a lot better about that sort of thing. Like, but it's bad when you know that the big improvements are from farm like chicken coops that have like windows and natural light
Oh
in
God.
them. Yes,
Yeah, it's miserable.
honestly. Like imagine, yeah, more GDP on the one hand, but imagine how much how much better things would be if you just had a guy every couple of blocks who had a handful of chickens.
Yeah. I mean,
How
that's
much better
kind of
for the
how it is
chickens,
where
for the
I
people?
live. So it's not hard. People just
Right.
lose these things.
Hmm. Hell, there's a guy, some fucking Jamaican on the well, there's a Jamaican guy in this corner store in town who keeps his own chickens, and he owns the corner store, and legit, if you eat his fried chicken, it's some chickens that he was growing.
Well, that's one thing I always heard, particularly about Jamaica, that they have what
Yeah.
they call yard birds. They just have the chickens
Hmm.
that live out in front of their house. But these are the best chickens in the goddamn world because they're feeding them what
Yes.
they're eating. So like,
Hmm.
they're notoriously delicious and happy chickens.
Oh yeah. Like what we've seen today is a real, sorry, not just today, but over the past, I'll say 100 years, let's be conservative, is a real focus on quantity over quality. You can see this in our military doctrine. You can see this in the way that we farm, the way that we produce things. And we've gotten better at slowly but surely increasing the quality of the things that we produce in quantity. But in actuality, it's never enough.
Well, yeah, I think we're
It'll never
probably
reach that.
we're multiplying at a
Yeah.
level that our scientific understanding or our whatever technological progress that can't keep up with how many more of us there are. I think
Hmm.
that's part of it.
Like imagine what this planet will look like when there's 11 billion people on it.
It probably
And I,
could be
fuck,
doable in some way if we could find the way to use our space and our energy more efficiently. Like it probably could be doable, but not at this rate.
I don't, no. The way people manage things, I don't want to see 11 billion humans unless we've already begun colonizing Mars and the moon.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, and even then, like, geez, yeah, give me some space colonies, then we'll see about infinite people. Until then, let's just try to relax, okay?
The problem is that the people who are relaxing are the most capable people in the world, and the people who are
Yeah,
not relaxing are fucking, ugh, you know.
we know. Yep. It's a frustrating state of affairs, and it's easy to be black pilled. But figure this is not the worst of it. Like there was a time people seem to forget, especially in this country, but there was a time that we didn't used to exist on this continent. Not just, America per se, but hell, not even most of the states. We carved that out over
Yeah.
generations. People think that all of a sudden, some time has passed and we couldn't do it again? Fucking no. We just lack the will, and that's what's going to change.